We begin with three stoners making their way down a Vermont highway. But soon, the highway patrol pulls up next to them. Mike attempts to eat all of the weed and shrooms, but they decide to toss the rest out the window. Soon after, they are pulled over, and Officer Thorny interrogates them. He ends up writing them a ticket and allowing them on their way. Moments after the troopers pull away, one of the boys makes the wrong comment, and the troopers reverse and pull them over again. This time, Thorny reveals the baggie they threw out the window. Just as he tells them that they have to smoke the whole bag in front of them, a speeding driver almost takes them out, and they throw the kids in the back of the squad car before heading after the reckless driver. Rabbit requests backup, and soon, Officer Foster joins in the high-speed chase. Suddenly, the driver pulls off the highway and makes a break for it by running into a bar. Once inside, they find out that they've been hacked, and it was just another trooper friend named Mac. Farva calls to them to see if they need help, but Thorny tells him they're just fine. Then, the troopers decide to play a prank on the stoners, and Mac shoots his weapon before running out and commandeering the car. He does a couple of donuts in the parking lot, and he tells the kids that they're going to Mexico. Later, all of the troopers meet at the diner, and Thorny beats Rabbit in a syrup-chugging contest. As they get up to leave, they run into the Spurbury Police Department, and a brawl erupts until John shows up to tell Bruce that this is just the way the guys are after chugging their syrup. Later, all of the troopers meet at headquarters to get their assignments, and John makes it clear that they have to step their numbers up or they'll be shut down. Everyone heads out to the highway, and Foster's first ticket is served after playing the cat game. He manages to get out 10 meows before leaving. Back at the station, Farva and Rabbit are going at it until Thorny shows up to take Rabbit out on a call. When they arrive on the scene, local police are already there, and there's a dead girl in a Winnebago. To top things off, a pig goes crazy inside, and everyone tapes it off. After a fight concerning jurisdiction, Thorny decides to let the local police have it. Back at the station, John points out that their brawl made the front page, and he can't believe they gave away the crime scene like that. After work, Thorny goes to coach his son's baseball game, and his hippie girlfriend mentions the fact that he can come work for her if he gets shut down. When Foster goes to get food at the food truck, one of the local police named Ursula catches on to the fact that he's hitting on her, but she never expected to get hit in the head by a baseball. During the next shift, Foster shows up at the local police department, and Ursula figures out that he's just there to talk to her. He manages to make her smile a bit, but she tells him he has to go out there before the guys show up. On the highway, Foster and Mac pull over a truck driver, and he ends up locking them in the back with his product. 2 hours later, Thorny and Rabbit show up and search through the product in the truck to find that it's a fake soap company that's moving a lot of reefer. When they talk to John, Rabbit makes a connection between the sticker on the packaging and a tattoo on the back of the dead girl in the Winnebago. The mayor shows up and tells them that the governor will be coming through any day now, and he plans on making sure that the department stays open. Later, Thorny and Rabbit do a routine traffic stop, and Rabbit gets a little too involved with a passenger. When Thorny radios the license plate to Farva, he finds out that it's a stolen car, and they have to arrest the couple. Back at the police station, Foster gets a good idea of what Ursula has to deal with from her coworkers, and he tells her that she would never be treated like that with him. John is in the chief's office trying to find out more about the dead woman, but the chief isn't willing to cooperate with him because shutting down the highway patrol means a bigger budget for his precinct. That night, Rabbit dresses up and takes the impounded car for a spin, and he speeds by Mac, who is having a really good time with himself. Mac gives chase until Farva actually pulls an off-duty arrest. Elsewhere, Thorny and his girlfriend are talking about what will happen if he has to transfer, but they stop talking about it to join the German couple he arrested earlier, offering mustache rides. Meanwhile, Foster goes to the police station to try and work some magic on Ursula, and after a little bit of flashing, he convinces her to get it on. They sneak into the Winnebago and make their way to the bed. But once they lay on it, they bust it. Underneath the bed are duffel bags full of reefer with the same logo as the ones in the semi-truck. Foster takes one of the duffel bags back to the highway patrol station, and he tells John about it. John thinks that this is the break they need, and he gives everyone their assignment. When Foster goes back out on patrol, Ursula joins him to keep him busy, and they work their way to the back seat where the doors close on them. Ursula couldn't care less though, and by morning, they work their way out by removing the door somehow. Foster and Mac decide to go undercover as truck drivers to ask around about the contraband smuggling driver, but neither of them know how to drive a big rig. Thorny and Farva go out on patrol, and Farva is having a hard time fitting in. After an embarrassing traffic stop, Farva has another embarrassing moment at a fast food restaurant, which ends with him attacking the cashier. Farva is then arrested, and the police wash him down with a hose and floor brush. The chief of police comes in next, and he tries to play hardball with Farva. He tells him that he's got a sweet spot open for him at the station after they get shut down if he agrees to share their evidence with them. Farva turns him down, and he's released to Thorny. When they get back to the highway station, everyone decides to watch a cartoon to research the sticker, and John deals with Farva in his office. After John bans him from road detail, he goes on to tell the other guys that he's going to start looking for a new job. That night, Foster and Ursula meet up incognito. The plan was to dress up as bikers. She tells him that she's got a plan to help him get the rest of the reefer out of the Winnebago to show the governor. The next day, the guys show up at the outdoor range, and Mac shows off his new bulletproof cup. He heads down range and has Thorny shoot at him. After he's done, he lets Rabbit try it on next, but John shows up and calls it quits. Foster tells the guys on his plan on getting in the police department when the governor has her banquet, and they move forward with the plan. At the local police station, the guards are distracted, and Foster and Thorny take this chance to sneak in. Shortly after, the police officers show up to their bogus call to see if that's actually Rabbit getting it on with a bear. Back at the banquet, John and Mac are disappointed to see that Farva actually showed up. They find out that the governor is leaving early, and Mac calls Thorny to see where they are. Thorny tells them that they are about 2 minutes out, and they're riding the Winnebago there. Meanwhile, Foster is running away with his bear costume, and Farva is running the dry bar. Just when Thorny and Foster arrive, they find the bags don't have any reefer anymore, and someone sold them out to the police chief. Foster confronts Ursula, and she tases him after telling him that she didn't tell him. That evening, the highway patrol officers drink their sorrows away at the station, and they find out that Farva is actually the one that sold them out for a spot with the local police. Everyone decides to get their revenge on Farva, and they do so by handcuffing and gagging him to the toilet. The guys decide to take Farva's new police car and drunkenly pull people over while relieving themselves on the car. They end up at the police chief's house, and John tries to get him out. While John handles business, Foster calls Ursula over the radio to apologize, and she tells him to meet her at a local intersection to hear her plan. While they wait there, the truck driver passes by with another contraband truck, and the guys pull out to catch him. They are stopped by Farva, who tries to arrest them, but he feels bad for betraying them. Eventually, he turns around and helps them follow the truck to a local airfield. Once there, they find out that the local police were actually running protection for the dealers, and Ursula shows up and explains that she's known for a while. She promises that she's not part of it, and she likes Foster now. They head to the local police cars to see what they've got, and they ride in the trunk of one as they bust up the drug deal. The highway patrol guys end up winning in the end, and they arrest everyone. Later, everyone goes to John's house to read a letter he received from the governor, and he finds out that they're still getting shut down. After 3 months, Thorny and Rabbit are working as delivery guys for the local beer company, and their delivery for the night is actually the Stoner Kids. The boys decide to take this chance to ridicule the men, but the joke's on them. Thorny and Rabbit reveal that they're the new local police, and the rest of the squad comes in to bust the party. Super Troopers is definitely a classic comedy at this point, and it even managed to get itself a sequel years after it came out. You can definitely see why. And that wraps up this recap. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this recap, please subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss a single video.